Hello, Geminis, and welcome to your May 2026 monthly horoscope. My name is Justyna. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to tell you about the most important events happening in May, and I'll tell you how they will influence your ascendant sign on a deeper level. So yes, this horoscope is most accurate for your ascendant sign, also called the rising sign. However, you can also watch it for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. So let's start from the first event. So we start May on a deep, intense note. Of course, April ended with Uranus entering Gemini, so really erratic, new and fresh, energizing energy in a way as well. Of course, your first house. So I'm sure you're feeling this shift already. So this is really interesting, exciting, and I'm sure lots of Gemini are, especially those with early degrees in Gemini, or perhaps those with born in May. Here, this shift will be felt especially strongly this year. So here we start this month on a pretty intense note. The reason for that is because there is a full moon on the very 1st of May happening at 11 degrees of Scorpio. The moon in Scorpio is in its sign of fall, so this is the sign of weakness. It's a weak sign for the moon. So the moon can generally, the full moon in Scorpio can make us more anxious, can make us more suspicious and cautious as well, especially when dealing with something unknown. Generally, the energy of Scorpio brings complexity and the need for transformation, regeneration as well. This is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house is the house of hard work and our health, especially any illnesses. The 1st house is about our physical health overall, but the 6th house deals with any illnesses or a sense of burnout, for example. And it brings to light overall where perhaps we've been also feeling unproductive, where perhaps we've been overextending oneself. So this is connected to your work environment, to your work overall, to your day-to-day reality, daily life. It's a very mundane house. So it deals with our everyday life, our routines, our duties, responsibilities. So with the 6th house, full moon, you might be reaching an important deadline. It could be a pretty hectic time with the 6th house full moon, but at the same time, this full moon could also make you realize that perhaps for some, this could be when you might realize you're reaching a point of a burnout. It could also make you realize where you're wasting your energy and perhaps what sort of duties, activities in your daily life you can let go of. So here, see how you feel around this time, because with full moons generally bring a greater sense of awareness. They show us what's working and what isn't. So here, this could be related to your work situation, to some important deadlines, projects you are trying to complete. But at the same time, this is also about your routine. It's a good time for going through these lifestyle routine changes. See what's working, what isn't, where your energy is wasted. What can you do to feel more productive on daily basis? So generally also pay attention to any patterns or habits that block that sense of productivity, that generally make you feel like you're not, that overall affect your well-being. Now pay attention, because this is a water fixed energy, and fixed energy, whatever you will decide during fixed full moon, this often has long-lasting influence. So keep this in mind, but at the same time, Scorpio brings a lot of intensity. It helps us also to deal with matters of a complex nature as well. It brings more courage. It brings more need for transformation as well. But at the same time, this full moon will also form a square to its dispositor or ruler, if you will, Pluto. It's a wide square, but because Pluto is a slow-moving planet, this square is definitely going to be active, and Pluto is moving very slowly at this point. It's about to turn retrograde a few days later, on May the 6th. So it's moving at a very, very slow pace. And we've got a square here happening in your 9th house. So Pluto in Aquarius is in your 9th house. So this full moon could also influence, impact, affect your life direction or your direction, the direction that you're heading. You might be questioning your direction, especially if you're in two minds, which is very often the case for Gemini energy, which is connected to duality. And if you are at a crossroad at this point in your life, especially with Uranus now in your first house in your sign, then this full moon squaring Pluto in your 9th house could make you question your direction, the direction that you're heading, your beliefs, your life philosophy, as well, your sense of purpose. So generally, this full moon could make you question your daily reality, daily schedule, daily routines, and whether they align with the direction that you're heading. Now, also at the same time, we've got Mercury and Chiron conjunction happening in the sign of Aries at 27 degrees. This is happening in your 11th house of group dynamics, of friendships, your long-term goals and hopes and dreams for the future as well. So at the same time, Mercury, which is the planet connected to, of course, your chart ruler as well, which will likely affect you quite deeply. I'm not saying in a negative sense, but it could bring awareness perhaps through a conversation you may have with your friend, or perhaps through your network, through some kind of realizations and thoughts you may have about your dreams, about your future, for example. And this energy could also make you question that sense, or your sense of belonging within a certain social situation or a group environment. It could also bring a need to change your plans, your goals, maybe redefine your direction to a certain extent. It might be that perhaps something about certain connections, friendships, social environment in your life no longer aligns with your path. All right, so here on May the 3rd, on the other hand, we've got Mercury, of course, your chart ruler, changing signs. That's your 12th house. So as you can see, it's only a 2 weeks influence, interestingly, even though Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Mercury will only stay there for 2 weeks as of May the 3rd. It could be a time when you might have a greater need to withdraw, to contemplate, as well to go within. This is often a time of withdrawal when the Mercury transits our 12th house. And it could be more of an introspective month, which is not actually a bad thing, because we started May on such intense and profound note that when we reach this transit, when Mercury reaches your 12th house, you might need some time to allow yourself to process your thoughts, your emotions. And this isn't really a time, these 2 weeks between May the 13th and May the 17th, to act too impulsively. This is a time to think things through, to process things internally first before you're ready to release them externally. So this is a time of reflection rather than action. But overall here, Mercury in the 12th house, a great time for generally for writing, for reading, even for doing some spiritual work, studying astrology or crystals, numerology, tarot. It's a very mystical, spiritual energy. So a wonderful time for diving deeper into anything that can help you to increase that deeper sense of self-awareness overall. Now, Pluto will turn retrograde on May the 6th in your 9th house. So here, another internal energy. That's what happens when a planet turns retrograde. The energy turns from external influence to internal influence. That's what's happening here with Pluto retrograde as of May the 6th for a few months. It happens every single year. But here, this is happening at 5 degrees of Aquarius in your 9th house. So this energy could make you question your life direction, your life purpose, your beliefs, anything to do with your life philosophy, anything with what you thought you wanted. Does it still align? This is a big, big question now with Uranus in your first house. All right, so May the 16th brings a new moon in Taurus. And the moon in Taurus is in its sign of its exaltation. So here the moon in Taurus is very comfortable, very strong. Taurus is an earth sign, and it's also a fixed sign as well. So a new moon in Taurus in your 12th house. So here it's a slightly internal energy again. Of course, we are in Taurus season. Taurus season can make you want to withdraw temporarily, can make you want to detach as well, go within. And it's a great time for really take it as an opportunity to have a good rest. Have a good rest and process anything that feels unprocessed. Because once we reach Gemini season on 21st of May, this is when we start a brand new cycle, 12-month cycle that will overall bring a need for a complete shift overall, especially here with Uranus in your first house. So take Taurus season to go within, to understand your thoughts, your emotions, to process things in tranquility. Now, the new moon in Taurus happening on May the 16th, it's happening at 25 degrees of Taurus. So here, a late degree again. As you can see, many of the new moons happening in 2026 are taking place at a very late degree of a sign, which also indicates that feeling of urgency or perhaps running out of time. But bear in mind, this isn't a time to rush with anything, with any decisions. This is the 12th house energy and also a fixed sign Taurus. Take it easy and process everything internally. This is a good time to work from behind the scenes, to go on a spiritual retreat, to generally to journal, to stay in nature, to connect with in energies, people that bring that sense of tranquility, harmony, and peace. Now, Taurus energy is also fantastic for indulging in the simple pleasures of life, good food. And overall, with the 12th house energy, very often we feel like we want to eat more, especially with the moon in the 12th house is connected to comfort eating, especially if we are struggling with our emotions. So maybe allow yourself to have a nice, healthy, hearty meal, that nourishing meal that can bring a lot of comfort and maybe some good I want to say wine, but I don't want to encourage drinking. But a good book, Taurus energy is about senses as well. So it's nice smells or a warm bath and flowers. It's spring here in the northern hemisphere, so maybe a nice walk would be great. But something is being released at this point. It's a late degree of a new moon and a 12th house energy. But at the same time here, allow yourself to slow down during this time, because you are ending a chapter internally at this time. So this is not a visible beginning, but definitely a good time for have a bit of rest. Now on May the 18th, Mars enters Taurus. That's your 12th house energy. Mars in Taurus here, it brings very different dynamic to Mars in Aries. But as you can see, a lot of energies are shifting into your 12th house. So generally Mars in the 12th house, it can make you feel like your energies are lower, and it can bring internal tension. Very often with Mars in 12th house, it's difficult to deal with emotional intensity, emotional overwhelm, because our emotions are repressed. Mars tends to repress anger. This is my daughter's placement, actually, and we've been working a lot with emotions and how to handle them, and physical activities essential. Spending time in outdoors and exercising. You need to find a way, and the exercising is the best way to get rid of the excess of energy accumulated throughout the day. So here, make sure that you engage at least in a walk, fresh air activity. You need that. You need to have a healthy balance in your life when Mars is in the 12th house. So that it's not just about work, it's not just about responsibilities and duties, but it's also about having some time to withdraw from the outside influences, energies, and here something that generally can help you to release the excess of energy, whether that's some sport, activity, whether that's a walk in nature, whatever it is that can help you to relax. It also depends on your chart as well, because look at the elements in your chart. Maybe you don't have much water, then swimming, taking a bath can be very, very soothing during these times. Maybe you lack air element, then definitely you need that fresh air, plants in your home. Maybe you lack earth and you don't feel grounded enough. So here, working with the soil, walking your foot on the earth. Maybe you lack fire. So that would be maybe even eating spicy foods or going to sauna. All right, so Mars in Taurus also in the 12th house is great for working independently. This isn't the easiest transit to work in a team. You can really focus your energies if you work alone or in the privacy of your home or away from too many distractions, because you absorb external energies easily, and it's easy to get distracted, frustrated as well. So you need time, or you need space during this time. You need space, otherwise if you're too much around people or busy places, hectic places, and you don't find time for yourself, for rest, then it can lead to that internal tension. All right, so here martial sports are popular with Mars in the 12th house. So this isn't the time to push too much, especially Mars in Taurus. Don't push. Taurus doesn't like to be rushed. It's about strategic and stable. It's about stable movement. All right, so here Taurus brings a lot of determination as well. But on the 19th, we've got the Venus, the planet of love, beauty, relationships, moving into Cancer. It brings a lot of supportive, nurturing energy, and this is into your second house. So this energy could bring that sense of stability, sense of comfort in your life. And it brings nurturing energy to your sense of self, sense of self-worth, especially sense of self-esteem. Venus in the second house has got expensive taste. So you might be attracted to expensive objects. So keep this in mind, especially if your budget is tight at this point. Venus in the second house loves objects of beauty, art. This could also stimulate you to perhaps get something for your home environment, for example. Now, Venus in the second house, this is also connected to perhaps even a new business, any financial goals connected to some business idea, connected to something to do with art, beauty, creativity, jewelry even. Venus in the second house, I had something at the back of my mind. Oh, yes. This could be also connected to gifts and generosity. It's a warm-hearted energy overall. Now, on May the 21st, we start the Gemini season. So finally, you start to feel more awake, more energized, and ready to take action. And this is a time when generally everything changes. With the sun transiting our first house, we feel more alive. We want to get ourselves out there. We want to take action. We want to initiate something in our lives. And overall, we want to be more visible. We want to get ourselves out there. And we want to be more involved. So it's a really lovely time of the year. Gemini season for Gemini sun, Gemini rising, or even Gemini moon, of course. So there's a shift of identity going on, especially since you have Uranus in your first house and the Sun and Uranus conjunction occurs on the very next day, 22nd of May. So this is happening in your first house, so it will influence you, your identity, your sense of self, your direction. And generally, during this day, try to keep your schedule light, especially when it comes to your goals, ideas. This isn't a good day for any experimenting with anything, because you have Uranus, you make your ideas very quickly. You change your mind very quickly as well, and you act differently. Remember, Uranus energy is connected to originality, uniqueness, innovation. If you have a haircut on this day, you might suddenly decide you want to do something completely different, but here you might change your mind very quickly, but it might be too late. So definitely keep it in mind. Watch out with any experimentations, especially when it comes to your physical appearance, your hair, for example, something that you can't actually reverse. And this energy overall brings a need for freedom, a need for liberation from what's stagnant, monotonous, restricting. So it's a massive shift going on. So I'm really curious how it will come work out for you, Geminis? Let me know in the comments if you remember. All right, so we end the month with a full moon. So it's an interesting thing because we started with a full moon, we end with a full moon. Very different energies though, because we started with an intense full moon in Scorpio. We end with a multiple, adventurous, philosophical Sagittarius full moon happening at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. The new moon in Taurus was at 25 degrees. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Yes, but the full moon in Sagittarius is at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So here, this is still the first decan. So it's a very strong Sagittarian energy influencing your 7th house of relationships, unions, one-to-one connections, contracts you have with others. So this energy is about others, but at the same time, it's a full moon. So it's kind of you versus others. But this is when your relationships, unions, connections come into light. Full moons bring a heightened awareness, realizations. What's been hidden may now be revealed, especially here when it comes to these one-to-one dynamics. At the same time, something might be shifting. This isn't just about your love life or your marriage. It could be also about your business partnerships, a very strong connection in your life as well. This could be also about a contract you have with another person, whether that's landlord, whether that's, for example, someone like your dentist or your client. So it could be the end of a contract for some. It could be that things can no longer move forward as they used to. So there is a shift of energy and something is changing in the relationship area. Something is coming also to light. Maybe this could be about an important conversation as well. It's about one-to-one dynamics, one-to-one connections. So we explore it further and deeper, closer to the date. In the meantime, have a good month. And until the next time, bye for now.